catcher Marco Valenzuela.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Oh man, I'm a Broncos fan, so I already have a little fit for the Chiefs. So I'm gonna have to say the 49ers, probably. That'd be my choice.
What's the offseason been like for this team, getting ready for this season?
It's been a lot about finding our own identity. We have a ton of new guys, like almost 20, I think, and just being able to kind of form a whole completely new team than what I've had. Being my fourth year, we've kind of had big freshman classes, but having a big transfer class is it's been fun to figure out everybody's personalities and getting together as a team.
What do you think of the staff? I mean, you guys obviously lost some key pieces from your pitching rotation and even from the bullpen as a catcher. What do you think you need from these guys to be able to reach your goals?
I think if everyone just does their job, and once we find a role for them and they're able to do their job and just kind of put their head down and be able to execute that, I think we'd have a really good time throughout the season and have good success.
You mentioned almost 20 new guys in your time here. Is this the most that you've ever encountered with just like new bodies coming in for a season?
I think so, especially because we had a big roster and just having that many new people. The mix of new and old was kind of not a shock, but it's definitely a different environment than I'm used to. But I did enjoy it. So.
You think that's good for the guys? I mean, obviously you return a lot on the position player side, but not to get complacent, to know there's going to be some competition, some new guys who want to get out on the field.
Yeah, and I think it's really good to have new guys, especially like you said, the competition and trying to fight for a spot and showing the new guys that just because we've been here doesn't mean they're not entitled to their shot at the position as well. So.
It's been 20 years since this team's been in a regional. How much is that discussed among the guys, among the staff as a goal for the season?
Obviously, it's mentioned a lot around in the paper and stuff like that, but we don't really think about it too much. Our main goal is to just do well in conference and then get to the conference championship in the first place and then kind of work our way forward from there. So that's where we're at.
What do you like about this group of guys in particular?
I think a lot of them are bought into what we're doing, and I think a lot of them are work really hard, and having good work ethic is kind of what we've been working on in the fall and just kind of getting everyone on board. So I think the progress of that has been really good.
Has anybody kind of stuck out to you this offseason as making a clear jump forward or being a lot better than the last time you guys hit the field together?
Yeah, there's a lot of JUCO guys that are coming, like Sam Burns and even the freshmen like Brady Hormel, guys that work really hard every day during practice, after practice, before practice, and doing stuff like that, and it really shows in how they play on the field.
I know it's still early, but have you noticed any key strengths so far for the first couple of practices?
I think we're going to have pretty good pitching as far as being able to fill up the zone and having a lot of arms to be able to throw, so it puts a lot of less stress on the guys that are starting and knowing that they have guys behind them to finish innings. So I think that's a big part.
And with Kiambu coming in from Vanderbilt, a guy who's been at the highest level and obviously a place every college baseball player wants to be, what do you think his presence is going to be like going through that experience as he helps you guys out this season?
I think it's going to be good, especially because he's been part of a super well-known winning program, I think, for one of the best college head coach for baseball that there's ever been. So I think he's giving us a lot of insight about what a winning culture looks like and how things are done. Is kind of morphing that with what we have already here has been a challenge, but I think we're all welcome to it.
What's been the biggest message from Coach Bruce so far in the offseason, just to be prepared for that first game?
I think it's just how it's always been. It's just committing to the process of getting better and kind of just taking every day as it comes and reflecting on it and then moving on right away. So I think we're excited for what's coming in the next couple weeks, but I think we're ready.
What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge, just with a bunch of new guys trying to put all the pieces together?
I think the challenge is finding people that we wouldn't be able to put on the field. Our team is such. Coach Bruce said it's kind of like a hybrid. We have so many different pieces that can play so many different positions, and I think it's difficult for them to figure out who's actually going to play where when we have so many good options.
You guys obviously have a new pitching coach with Coach Buckley. What's been your, initial impressions working with him and getting this stuff ready?
I think he's incredibly smart. He obviously was around the big leagues and the pros for a really long time, so there was a lot more information that we haven't heard before, which was really nice to kind of develop into my game, but then especially just how knowledgeable he is has been a really big part of his coach.
Any major philosophical changes in terms of how he approaches the game pitching-wise?
Not really. I mean, just compete really is how it is for everyone. So I think it's just competing and just working constantly. So.
Cool. Thank you, Marco. Super Bowl and why?
I think the Chiefs are. I think just Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes is gonna have an excellent game and just win it for him.
Nice. Just your thoughts on this season, this off season, and what you guys are trying to accomplish this year.
I thought we had a very productive off season. You know, we've had a lot of new guys, so we had to implement a lot more new stuff. But I think we're all learning fast and getting ready for the season.
New pitching coach, obviously. What has Coach Buckley kind of brought to the pitching side of things, and any major philosophical changes from Coach Bennett's kind of regime?
He's older, so he's been around the block a lot. So he's just able to bring new insight to pitchers and more of like a different philosophies.
Heading into a breakout freshman season for you, was there anything sort of adjustment-wise that you're making heading into your sophomore year at this point?
No, just build off everything. Get the swing better and try to learn my body and see how it moves better and better every day.
You and Marco split time behind the dish last season. How is his upperclassman and his overall work to the game? Has that kind of rubbed off on you heading into your second year with the program?
Oh, definitely. I try to learn from him every day. I look up to him as an older brother. I'm learning, how he does stuff defensively. I want to learn how he does it too.
Along with your prowess at the plate, you hit over 300 last year. You had a perfect fielding percentage as well. Is that something you kind of take pride in, knowing your defense is right up there with some of the best in the Mountain West Conference?
Yeah, defense is something I want to be really good at, and make the easy plays, and if I can, make the hard plays too. So yeah.
At some points throughout the last season, being one of the only freshmen on the team last year, did something click for you throughout any point in the year, or was it all just some sort of sway moving forward?
Just try to learn from the older guys, pick up what they know, and just try to do the same thing they're doing.
Well, with so many new faces to this year's club, what are you trying to do at that standpoint to help them in their development?
Try to be what the older guys were for me last year and help them out the same way they helped me.
And what were those older guys for you last year?
Who were they?
Or what were they to you?
Oh, just someone that I came in and was able to ask them questions about, first time being away from home, being out of college, and just learn from them in baseball and school.
All right, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl and why?
I believe the Niners are. One of my roommates is a big Niner fan, so I'm going to have to say the Niners right now.
Okay. What are your thoughts heading into this season and what this team can accomplish in 2020?
Honestly, I think this team has a lot of great attributes to this team. We brought in a lot of JUCO guys who know how to win, and JUCO knows how to play and knows how to win. I think we're a very veteran team, so I think that's going to really help us carry over into the season.
Heading into your first year with the program, is there anything you've taken note of early on this season?
Definitely. This is a complete different environment than junior college. Love every guy here. Love to learn from them, learn to keep learning as well. Just guys here know how to win, and that's what I hope we can do.
Looking into your background, I saw that signing with Nevada for you was a big emotional point for you going forward. Is that something you'll always kind of reflect on, knowing your family was all around you at that point?
Definitely. My grandpa being there, I think that was the biggest thing for me. Now that he's gone, I wish I could see him up in the stands as he watched me play every single game as I played since I was little. It's going to be a little hard, but I know he's going to be watching down on top of me right now.
Playing high school ball in California, you were kind of a catcher and more of a power hitter yourself, but making that transition to pitching in the JUCO game, can you describe to me how that came about and what overall adjustments you had to make?
So yeah, I was a catcher. Went into junior college, catcher spot was kind of filled up. Coach said, hey, go throw a bullpen. I was sitting high eights, and they're like, you're going to be our closer. Pitched 17 innings, and then started getting the little calls from schools and teams, and then sophomore year came around and pitched 67 innings, and then everything just took off. I think it's a big part of it was catching, so now I know how calling a game and everything, it kind of helps me in the pitching stance because now I understand how hitters are going to focus in the box, how are they going to stand, what I'm going to be looking for against those hitters.
Seems like you're a quick learner on the mound. Fastball's already touching mid-90s material. What do you plan to bring to this team overall on the mound?
Hopefully just a winning attitude. Biggest thing is we want to win, we want to get to where we should be, but we got to work as a team first before we can do anything.
Awesome. Thanks, Blaine.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. For Owen.
Who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl and why?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes is just pretty unstoppable right now. He's a great quarterback, great leader, but on the other side you got Jimmy Garoppolo. I think it's gonna be a shootout, but I think the Chiefs got it.
What did you learn going over to the Cape and really just your full year, your pitching and then, going into your sophomore season?
Last year was just full of experience and a lot of learning opportunities, so I think getting a break from Reno and getting to go out and meet some new people and learn from some different guys across the country was just a unique experience, and I'm just really grateful for the opportunity I got to meet those people and expand my horizons really, and just come back with a new mindset and ready to pitch.
And you have a new pitching coach when you come back. What has Coach Buckley kind of taught you in your guys' brief time together?
As soon as he got hired, we met up and we started talking and just really started the revamp process and got me back on track. So it's really just getting back to who I was when I was successful, and he's done a great job of that and kind of letting me do my own thing, but also intervening. So I like the flow and the rhythm that we have going right now.
And growing up, I'm sure you dominated at every stop. What was it like experiencing some struggles, and what did you learn about yourself?
It wasn't easy, but I had a great support group. I had a lot of good teammates, and my coaches really never gave up on me. But most of all, it was a learning experience, and it's wasted if I can't come out here and use that experience to better myself and my teammates this year.
You call it a learning experience. What was probably the biggest thing that you learned and took away from year one here?
I learned how to lose. That's for sure, but no, a lot of it came from Coach Abe and the mental side of it, how to calm myself down and refocus and recommit to every pitch I throw and take that into practice every day. So, it's really translated this year. I think I'm not a completely different person, but I have a fresh mindset going into practice every day for sure.
Up near almost 20 brand new people coming on this team. What was your initial reaction when you found out how many new guys you'd be seeing?
It was definitely new. It was a challenge, still is a challenge, but we took it on with open arms, and I think learning what I learned last year from the older guys, as much as it is my job still to learn from guys on this team, but my turn to kind of pass the torch and show them the ropes a little bit and get everybody on board before we get going in February.
How do you think what you've learned in the off season, or what you learned last season, you've already taken into the off season now?
Say that again?
What you learned last season about yourself, you're taking into practice now. Already.
Yeah, it's just I think it's really a mental process for me, and that's what Coach Abe and even Coach Buck have taught me to kind of control every day. It's something that I can control, and just coming in with a fresh mindset and attacking each day with a clean slate, and today's a new day to get better and get my teammates better.
Obviously, Friday starter gone with Ryan going to the pro level. I guess how badly do you want that job?
I personally, everybody wants that job. If you don't want that job, then I don't know what you're working for. But that's up for Coach to decide. And me and Jake, I think, have done a pretty good job competing all fall and into the spring, and it's just been fun, kind of piggybacking off each other and learning from each other. So whatever Coach decides it is, but if it's me or Jake, we're gonna be fine.
It's been 20 years since this team's played in a regional. I know that was a goal of yours when you came here. What would it mean to you to be able to do that before you leave here?
It'd be pretty special. I think it'd be pretty special for everybody here, every player on this roster, all the coaches on the staff. It's the ultimate goal for us, and looking on my past and my baseball heritage, it would mean a lot to me to set foot in the postseason.
What do you think it's going to take for you guys to get there? Where do you guys have to improve over last year?
We're definitely going to have to be consistent in all facets of our game. So we're going to have to pitch consistently. We're going to have to produce offense consistently and keep playing the strong defense that we kind of have a label for. And most of all, it's just taking each day one day at a time. So I think it's big for us to just not look too far ahead and stay in the moment.
Thanks, Owen.
Thank you. Cheers. Who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl and why?
I'm gonna go with the Bay. Go with San Francisco only because I'm out here. And I think that's a safe pick. Yeah.
Smart play. What's been your impressions coming to this program?
Well, I didn't have any impressions coming in, but being here through the fall and now through the spring, it was a very big adjustment for me first coming here, and then once I'm still trying to adjust, but the guys and the teammates that helped me the most get through this process. And so I'm still learning, just kind of a new guy. And so just taking it day by day.
Kemba, what's it been like for you to be in a brand new environment?
Like I said, it's an adjustment, something you have to get used to. The coaching is different. The environment itself is different. Reno is different from Nashville, and so just learning how to deal with all that. But taking it in strides, and I think I'll be all right.
Incredible run you guys went on last year, winning the College World Series. What was that like for you personally, just being a part of that?
I can't really put it into words, to be honest with you. It was very fun. You hate to see it end because it was like the ride is so fun. It's more about the journey more so than like the destination. You can feel it from fall to spring, all the way through. And it's a wonderful feeling. So I hope these guys get to experience the same thing because I wouldn't trade it for the world.
And what would it mean to you to send this team to, say, a regional, even maybe beyond for the first time in about 20 years?
That'd be dope. That's the plan. We just stay consistent every day. We handle our business, and the results will take care of itself. So you can't really worry about the final destination. Just worry about today, and tomorrow we'll worry about tomorrow, and then the results will be there.
Postseason is something obviously you want to get to, but on an individual level, what do you want to get out of the 1 year you're going to be here?
Honestly, I just want to have fun. That's the main thing. Just have fun, play every day, and just enjoy baseball. You can't really put too much on it. I guess I've learned and watched other people go through it, and sometimes it can get bothersome. The 56 game grind, the process. But I just want to have fun and enjoy it because it doesn't last forever, so yeah.
What stuck out about Nevada when you were looking at your next stop?
Nothing, to be honest with you. It was a relationship that Coach Corbin had with Coach Bruce, and he asked me, would you mind going to Nevada? I said, no, I would not mind going to Nevada. He knew him, and I trust Corbin, and so I didn't need anything else.
How has the transition been from East Coast to West Coast?
I've gotten that a lot. We don't really call it East Coast. Everybody on the West Coast calls it East Coast. I'm from the South, and so food's different, people different, environment's different. But it's I'm enjoying it. It's fun. Yeah.
Are you used to playing in the altitude yet?
Yeah. Only thing that's been a big difference for me is just the wind, honestly. But I haven't really had trouble breathing because that's what I heard when I first came here. Conditioning is different than how it is because of the elevation thing. But I've been fine on that end, but just getting adjusted to how the wind blows and that type of thing has been the biggest adjustment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions for Josh?
Who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl and why?
I got the Chiefs. I gotta say, Mahomes he's a different type of athlete. He just moves the ball, and it's fantastic to watch.
How's this offseason been like for you?
It's been awesome. It's a lot of growth, a lot of development, and figuring myself out and figuring out, the team and how we can just win.
What do you think of all the newcomers? It seems like there's going to be a lot of competition. You guys have a lot of position players coming back, but at-bats are not necessarily guaranteed based on who's coming into this program.
Right, and they're all great. They came in and they fit in right away. We all mesh well, and the competition part of it is really nice because someone's always after a spot.
How do you think that competition is just going to help the program overall be better?
Oh, when you got someone behind you trying to take your job, it just pushes you every day. You cannot afford to take an off day, and I think that breeds a winner.
What you do every day, 2 All-Mountain West honors in the past 2 years. From an outsider's perspective, it seems like you can't really improve on much. What is there? What can you improve on going into the season?
Man, you can improve on everything. Everything. Every day is a new day to get better. I look at it as kind of like a reset button. When you wake up, you're not given anything, and you really got to wake up and earn everything that you get.
You guys obviously showed what you could do by winning those back-to-back games against Oregon State. What's it going to take to be at that level, game in and game out, and really string together a season you'll remember forever?
Yeah, I think consistency is the big thing. As long as we can stay consistent, both sides of the ball will be fine. But we just gotta play our game.
I know it's still early, but have you noticed the first couple of practices key strengths that you guys could have moving forward to the season?
Yeah, I mean, there's key strengths everywhere. I think our offense, we got a good lineup coming back. We got a few strong arms on the mound. I think we're in good shape.
You know, obviously Owen went through his freshman season. That's different for everybody. What did you learn about him, watching him go through some struggles, having some success, and just battling through a season?
Yeah, when they always say when you face adversity, your true character shows, and I think he earned everyone's respect on this team. Just the way he battled through season, and he's battled through everything they went through, ups and downs. He woke up with the same attitude of let's get after it and let's be successful today.
Great, thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Any questions for him? Go ahead.
We've been asking all the guys who's going to win the Super Bowl and why.
Ooh. Well, I'm a man of defense, but I think it's hard to I think it's hard to deny Mahomes. But I'll leave you with this. I'm a Raider fan, so this is the worst two teams playing in the Super Bowl for a Raider fan. So I don't know if I'm a fan. I don't even know if I'll watch the Super Bowl. How about that? Well, no, I will watch it, but
you were the official tiebreaker. It was 3-3. You gonna give us an answer?
I'm gonna at least keep it in the AFC West. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
What's been the thing that's excited you the most this offseason, getting ready for this year?
I think just the energy and the culture. I think it's been 4 years, and I don't think culture's something I think it's easily said. I don't think it's something that's easily to maintain, and I feel like these guys have done a tremendous job with that and their expectations of their work every day and how they come to the field, how they do weights, how school, all the above. So I think just being around them, they're great kids, or they're young adults, or some of them are getting up there, seniors, but they're just a great group of guys to be around.
A lot of guys talk about all the newcomers. What do you hope they bring, and how much more competition do you feel like there will be for playing time just with all these new guys?
Probably the most. I feel like it's been the most competitions we've had since we've been here. We got 19 position players and we have 16 arms. So now you're talking, and obviously everybody being healthy. You're talking. There's a lot of guys. Our catching position. You can throw Clayton, Prezina, Valenzuela. We got a newcomer in Dickman. I mean, you got four guys that are going to see significant time somewhere. With Tilly and Bosetti and Hormel. I mean, Jalen. You can bring Jalen back in the infield if we do. I mean, you got a lot of guys. The competition is as high as it's probably been, and the depth is as high as it's probably been. So I think the new guys have done a good job finding their way and adjusting to that. And then now with them coming back in January, I thought they've hit the ground running.
And with all those new guys coming in, do you see it more of as an excitement or more of a challenge if you had to choose one of the two?
I think it's always a challenge. I think if you're built right, the challenge is exciting. That's what I would say. I think it's no different than a coach or whatever you're doing. There's a new challenge in everybody's job day in and day out. But I would say it's a challenge, and with that, I think the challenge for them is learning a routine. We all have one. Learning how to show up at the field, how to show up when something doesn't go well in school, because a lot of these guys are coming. They're the best players on their high school team, so this is really the first time they're being challenged in a lot of different areas in a new arena. So challenge for me is what I think.
How big is it to have some guys coming in that have played at junior college already, so they aren't just fresh out of high school? They at least have some college experience.
Yes, for sure. I think there's definite value in that, because I always say each step of the game, it gets faster and faster and faster. And some of us have had to gone through the junior college ranks for one reason or another, and that sped up from high school just a little bit. And then the junior college, there'll be a little bit of a speed up from the JC ranks to here. But I definitely think in terms of playing as many games as they have, playing like they have in the fall, and just, the JCs, you're seeing a lot of talent in those JCs, whether it's from a position player or a pitching standpoint. So I do feel that they are ready and equipped and at least understand the speed of the game, which in a lot of sports, I think that's the biggest hurdle, because they're all talented. It's just a manage of managing your workload and how you do things every day, but also managing the speed of the game.
You guys get a transfer from Vanderbilt. I mean, what do you hope that Ventures brings this year's team, and how does coming from that winning culture kind of maybe rub off on these guys?
Well, it's when we met with them, it was awesome. It was we had a chance to Coach Corbin called and said, hey, we got a possible graduate transfer. What are your needs, and what do you think? And I think anytime you add somebody with a winning culture, it speaks a testament to the university, and I think to the community, because we've said it for years, and you guys have lived here or have done a lot of work here for a lot longer than me, but it's such a special place and a special community. So I think it speaks volumes for this guy to come 2,000 miles or 2,500 miles across the country to come play at this great university. But I think what he's going to bring is just, he's been around it. When we talk, Omaha, or you talk a regional, he's done it. Nobody else in this program, and this is no knock, no one else has done that. And so they're all looking in the room and saying, okay, well, that's great, I want to do that. How do we do that? There may be somebody in that clubhouse that is that person from the coach to the team that may be able to bridge the gap a little bit, and say, hey, this is how you do it, and this is why, or this and that. So I think just the maturity in that regard and the winning ways it's going to bring a ton to our program.
He kind of talked about how he got out here, and it sounds like Coach just called you and was like, "Do you want this guy?" I mean, is that pretty unusual, or does that happen a lot?
Well, I just, there again, I think in life, right, everything goes to relationships and how you treat people. And Coach Corbin and I have had a long-lasting relationship, and it really stems from Coach Savage. So I was very, very fortunate to get the call from Corbs and saying, hey, we got a guy, I think he'd fit what you do, I think he fits what you need and what you're looking for. And so I got right on Coach Corbin calls. So there's a few coaches in the world that when they call and tell you something, it's, you do what they tell you, and he's one of them. And so I called Kiambu right away, and we struck up a conversation, and then we flew him out. He spent about 24 hours here, and he committed before he left. So I thought that was a great telling sign of what's to come, but also I think it speaks to what the community is.
Owen talked a little bit about the struggles that he had to go through as a first-time college player. What do you hope that he learned from last year, and why do you think he'll be better this season?
Yeah, I think part of it's the speed of the game and adjusting to routines, and then being in a new arena. What you've done. It's like if you talk to any big leaguers or anybody that's played. I guess I would use the big leaguers, major league players, because they get to go down to AAA. But if you talk to those guys, they always tell you the hardest part isn't staying there or getting there. It's the hardest part staying there. And Owen got here, but now I think as you evolve and grow as a player and a person, I think he's learned himself, which is a huge deal, and he's learned what he can get better at and what he can build upon. And it's been really fun to see him compete, and to see Jake. Jake Jackson's another one, a guy that's had a lot of success, and then all of a sudden didn't have the success he wanted to because of different things. But to see him come out with what he's done, and that's a tribute to them, but it's also a tribute to our pitching coach. I think we got the best pitching coach in the country. So bar none, I'd argue that with anybody.
What has he brought to the group, and how is he philosophically maybe different from the previous pitching coaching?
I think what Troy brings is experience, but I think he has the ability to connect with kids and people. You know, I use the term kids probably a little loosely, but they're people, and he has that ability to connect with them and build that relationship with them. And then I think the track record of what he's done on the pitching side, and not only that, but he's been a head coach. It's allowed our staff to get back to their strengths. Coach Savage told me long ago, one of the best advice he's ever told me is always know your strength. And it's allowed, with Buck here, has allowed, you know, he has the pitchers. I'm going to go back and coach third base, which I haven't done here. I've done it sparingly, I know, but I'm going to go back to a strength of mine on how I was brought up, and he'll be in the dugout, and he can maybe manage the dugout a little bit while I'm over there, and then we'll talk in between innings. And the overall growth of our staff. You know, I think when it comes to everything, I have a confidant that I can lean on and say, hey, this and that, this is what we think, and he'll rebuttal it. But I think it's true with our whole staff. I mean, I think moving Abe into the full-time role, I think that it's been allowed our guys just work, and they just go and do their thing. They're always testing me and my boundaries, and hey, they're always pushing the envelope, and I think that's how you grow as people, and that's how you grow as a staff.
Coach, you mentioned know your strength. What do you think? I know it's still very early going on, but what do you think could be the biggest strength of this team when you look around at them?
Well, I think if you look on paper, you know, I think the numbers probably tell you the offense. But I will tell you, we got 2 weekend starters back, and there's not a lot of teams that do have that back in our league. And I think anytime you can get that back, you know, especially on the pitching side, or really any side, I think you're always that's a very positive thing for your club. But I think the strength for us overall is just the numbers and the experience we do have. You know, we have some younger guys, maybe some sophomores, but they've played a lot. Or you have some juniors that have been around the program for 2 years, that it's their time to step up. Or you have guys like Jalen, who's seen quite a lot of things here. He's played infield, outfield. He's been on some not so good years. He's been on a championship team. You know, so I think the experience in terms of the playing experience, the at-bats, the innings pitch, is probably the biggest strength of the guys that are returning.
Coach, the end of last year was certainly dramatic. Is that something you can take and build on, or is it best would you like to avoid that sort of drama, or you know, is that looking too far forward?
No, well, for your health, you'd like to avoid the drama a little bit in terms of, you know, it's never ideal when you go and you have to sweep somebody on the road. But I do think that our team was up for the challenge, and they did a really good job embracing that's what they had to do, and that's just where we were at the time, and we didn't complain about it. We didn't do this, we didn't do that about it. We took it day by day, and you're going to have different seasons, and whether it's in your life you have different seasons, or seasons within the season, there's different seasons that go up and down and east and west, and you know, it'd be nice if everything was perfect, right? You go 56-0 and you go 21-0 and you win the conference and everything's great, but the reality is I don't know how much you're going to grow from that. I don't know how much your program's going to grow. I think the biggest growth you are going to face is in the adversity like we did face last year, and I think that will springboard us forward. We'll have something to rely back on.
Speaking of the schedule and looking forward to the schedule and conference, what do you think of this year compared to previous ones?
Well, it's good. I mean, I think our schedules is good. I think they continue to be strong, and we're not a program that's going to chase wins. We're going to go out and play the best teams that we can play, and we're going to go on the road, and we have to able to win long term. You got to be able to win on the road, and so you know, you put it in Oregon on the road. You bring in Wichita State for a little 3-team tournament. You go to Michigan, who was a national champion runner-up, and then obviously you start a tough non-conference on the road, or a tough conference on the road at Fresno State. You know, then you go to Utah, who's been a Pac-12 winner, in 16. So we'll play anybody. I always look at it the other way. Everybody has a chance to play Nevada, and that's kind of how we look at it.